Hello everyone, this is Shimmy, back with some more Kerbal Space Program, playing the Sandbox Space Campaign. And today I decided to switch up my mission set again. I was kind of tired of doing Minmus stuff, so I decided to do another mission that is entirely unrelated to Minmus, and I am sending a probe to Eve. The entire point of the probe is just pretty much the same thing I did with Duna, just sending to Duna, sending something to Eve to get there, complete some missions, and that will be the end of that, really. So the craft that I'm sending to Eve is pretty much the same one that I'm sending to Duna. I don't know if I might have changed the fairings or whatnot. So yeah. So, pretty standard launch, launched up into orbit. The one thing, though, I am kind of late on my transfer window from Kerbal to Eve. So, what I am doing, I am planning on just adjusting my trajectory a little bit so it's a little bit more inefficient, but hopefully I'll get and I'll encounter Deve. Deve! New planet confirmed. No, Eve, a little bit earlier than expected. Anyway, as for the Delta V requirement, it's pretty much the same, well, kind of the same for capture, so I didn't change the craft at all. So, as I am right now, I am just about to start my my encounter with my maneuver. No, starting my burn for my maneuver. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, yes, I am about to start my burn to go to Eve. One thing I did do, though, I did upgrade to the latest version of Mission Controller, 0.36. That does change the way that some items are charged with the space program. So everything is going to be entirely different. The original reason why I didn't do that was because it wasn't as balanced, or it wasn't balanced the same, which I didn't want that to be the case. I wanted to have the same balance and so forth, but that's okay. Yeah, anyway, so what I'll be doing is starting my burn, I think now, because it's gonna use this stage, and I'll do this, 1 minute beforehand. I think that's what I want to do. Yes. Hopefully, this is going to be kind of interesting, because Eve is a little bit more difficult to get to than Duna, I think, at least, even though Eve has a larger sphere of influence. Loud decouple. Yeah, I think I made the right decision here. Yeah, even though Eve has a larger sphere of influence, so it's easier to get closer to it, and see that you've gotten close to it, you have to worry about inclination changes, because Eve's orbit is a lot more wonky than Duna. Wonky being the official term. What I mean is, it is more, its inclination relative to Kerbal and Duna are more different. And even so, the way that this burn that I set up, I haven't even set up a maneuver to intercept Eve, only to get close to it, because I will need to do a plane change maneuver out in deep space. So, that should be good enough. Whoa, I've pacified something really quickly. What was that? Probe, beta mark. Wow, you see how close that was? That is crazy. Let's see how much debris I have. I only recently learned that I have this, so I got some debris going on here. That's cool. A lot of people don't like to have debris all over the place. I like to have the debris because it makes it more dangerous and it's more fun. I don't know. All right, I can turn that off. We're not doing keythane. So yes, I'm gonna need to configure this dish to work. So we're gonna activate the dish, target it, and we're going to go ahead and connect it to IPC East, maybe? Let's go ahead and save and close. IPC East. Maybe... Yeah, we'll do it with that one. And we're going to need to configure IPC East and West to communicate with Eve ComLab here. So we can do that real quick. Let's see here. Duna ComLab, Duna. Okay, so this thing is still pointed at Duna, but it has two different satellite dishes. So we're gonna point this other one at the Eve ComLab. Here we go. And do this. And we're gonna do Eve ComLab. Save and close. Yes. So I believe looks good to me. All right. So supposedly I've done this right, and I won't lose contact with the signal. And I think we can just go ahead and head on out here. We can go ahead and close this maneuver out. So if I go ahead and zoom out a bit, the way I did my maneuver, I did it kind of early, no, I did it. The burn was late, but the maneuver kind of makes it act as if I am heading out early towards Eve, relatively. Anyway, I'm gonna have to do a maneuver about here to change my orbital inclination. Ah, yeah, you see how close that is? Alright, I actually did something right for once. I'll have to adjust that a little bit. So, yeah. So, let's go ahead and just zoom time forward towards that maneuver and see how we can continue here. Hopefully not losing contact with our satellite network. Yeah, seems to be working. Seems to be working. I like it. Alrighty, yep. It is working alright. And we're out of contact. Because I always kind of get afraid of that. But I think that's just specifically because when you time warp, it kind of gets confused. So, anyway. Speeding time forward towards our maneuver node here. We want to get close, but it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, honestly. Two minutes out. That should be perfectly fine. Go ahead and orient ourselves. Go and zoom a little bit further, closer. And we'll go ahead and do our burn here. I'm going to go ahead and just close this maneuver out. And this is telling us, if we go ahead and mouse over this, this tells us when this goes to 0, that means our orbital planes are aligned. And it's even better to have our orbital planes cross at the point in which we are coming closest to Eve anyway. So that makes it easier in order to get there. So now we're going to plan another maneuver here. We need to make sure that we can actually get closer to Eve here. So I was adjusting this way. Nope, that was not good. So I think if I adjust this way, yep, there we go. That is significantly close. And that's actually very good. So all we need to do is adjust our velocity at our current point by 25 meters a second, 25.6, and we will have an encounter with Eve. And we are going to be adjusting our velocity by slowing down only 25 meters a second. There we go. Alright, we can just go ahead and kill that there. And if we just do this manually, we can just pay attention to the periapsis here as it gets lower and lower and lower and lower. We want to get as low as possible. Yeah, very nice. So, that was relatively painless. Relatively painless to get around into orbit around Eve. So now, we can just go ahead and zoom time forward here again and wait for our Eve encounter. And it is happening here. And I think we might be coming in a polar orbit. No, it's actually... what kind of orbit are we in here? Okay, so considering the angle in which we are approaching Eve and the angle in which we will be communicating with home, we are probably going to want to come around retrograde or increase our periapsis so we will still be in communication with home, because as you can see here at the periapsis, in which our closest point in which we want to do our capture maneuver with Eve, we'll be out of contact, out of line of sight, so we won't be able to control our craft anymore, and it might either keep the burn going, or it might just shut off the burn entirely. I'm not sure. It could be either one. So I'm just going to go ahead and raise the periapsis so it appears as if we are still in contact here. So yes, we've raised the periapsis a little bit. It's not going to be the most efficient capture, because the closer you are to the planet, the easier it is to capture, because of the gravitational influences created by the Oberth effect. But yes, so let's go ahead and let's see here. One thing though, we're not gonna get the flyby option here, because we're gonna go into packages and we're gonna go and choose Eve and select. We need to do a probe flyby first, and that flyby needs to be under 388, and we're not gonna get that because our periapsis is going to be above that. But that's okay. We can go ahead and do that later here. We just want to get into orbit first and then bring this periapsis closer. So, let's go ahead and zoom time forward again here. We're out of contact. I think I'm just going to leave it as is here. Yeah. Alright. Out of contact. Still in contact. I really hope this doesn't cause problems in the future. Let's go ahead and orient retrograde here. Let's see. Continuing. Okay. I haven't planned a maneuver node, but I have just a decent idea of how this will work. And I'm going to be going and capturing. Not going to take too much fuel to do that. Okay. So we have captured into orbit around Eve. But what I'll be doing is bringing this down a little bit. That should be good enough. And then I will go ahead and zoom around to apoapsis again, and I'll bring my periapsis down, and so we can go ahead and finish the flyby mission that is required of us. So let's go ahead and go up to apoapsis here. I think we need to get below 100, or no, get below at least 200, and this will work. Let's just go and do that right now. So we'll go ahead and do a retrograde burn, slowing ourselves down, so our closest point that we are to Eve becomes lower. I'll bring that down to 158. That should be perfectly fine. And yes, we only need to go below 388, but I want to bring that as close as possible here. And now, if we go down around again... Whoops. Alright. And we have already met the mission goals. Okay, so in the new version of Mission Controller, this pretty much just does it for us. We got 46,200 crones paying, so that basically paid for the vessel. The vessel cost us like 37,000. So we'll go ahead and do that. And there we go. And so if we go ahead and select another mission here, missions, we got it into orbit. So we're going to go ahead and select that mission. However, we need to bring the eccentricity down a little bit more, so I'm going to go ahead and go retrograde again. Needs to be below 0.9, so it's in a more stable orbit, which we can do. And there we go. Looks good to me. Another 46. Perfect. And we finished that mission. Alrighty, so we've done 2 missions. We are making monies. Now, the next goal... Actually, I kind of burnt that a little too far, didn't I? The next goal, what did I want to do? I might want to go ahead and fly by Gilly if I had the... If I have the money. Now, let's see here. Or, not the money, but the Delta V budget. So, because I can't do polar probe stuff. Can't do landing. I could do a crash. I could always crash into the thing. But then there's ComSat if I want to leave it there. I don't know if I have any plans on sending any man missions to Eve here. So I might not really care about having communications here all the time. But let's go ahead and see if Gilly is an option here. So what I'm going to want to do is actually raise my apoapsis again before I lose contact here. I want to get it so it will intercept Gilly's orbit. I'm gonna have to do... Yeah, alright. I'm gonna have to do a plane change maneuver though if I want this to work. So let's go ahead and set Gilly as target.